Hello, it's Max from the English Speaking Hub, and today, as always, I'm trying to kind of like get back on track, right? Like after having taken a break that lasted for around a month or so, I should probably chalk it up to being absolutely inundated with work lately. So it's been rather difficult to kind of like I don't know, like just get myself together, right? And finally pluck up, the courage and dedicate like all this like mental bandwidth to just learning English, right? It kind of like took a backseat for some time, and I know that it's quite detrimental for my long-term like plans pertinent to English, especially the ones connected to pronunciation, because um, it's clearly simmering on the back burner at the moment, which presents quite a conundrum in the long run. But at the very least, I decided to just upload like one video every day where I try to just integrate one expression, right? Like broaden my vocabulary and things of that nature, right? The expressions are not new per se. Like I know all about them. It's just that everything is kind of intertwined with my pursuit to better or refine my pronunciation, my accent, especially rhythm wise, right? Yeah, like I'm clearly, what would you say, like lagging behind by comparison to I don't know, like my other counterparts. So it shouldn't come as a shocker or a I don't know, like revelation for any of you that I'm trying to like do all of these things. So today I decided to forget about like speaking cards and just show you what I usually do whenever I'm practicing this expressions. Typically, I just like use ChatGPT. I type something, in there, ask it to generate or to come up with, gazillions of different like TikTok or blah, 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 hot takes or questions, and I just like what would you say, like bombard myself with them, try to answer some of them, use the feedback that I receive, and yeah, like that's kind of like what it all boils down to. Like that's like the crux of the strategy that I adopted recently, especially because there are no limits on the number of queries, or not queries, but prompts that I can make whenever I'm using it, right? Like I can always, opt for like using this function, which is to read aloud, right? And there is this like AI generated voice or something that is quite decent, right? Like the pronunciation and everything is close to perfect. There are some small like hiccups, there are some small like mistakes here and there, but they're not like critical, and fundamentally everything is all right. So yeah, I just asked it to come up with five more controversial hot takes, because the previous ones were rather like corny and bland. So, I just didn't want to kind of like give into this babbiest kind of exercise. And instead, I resorted to asking it to regenerate, the same prompt and do it better this time. So let's see whether or not it actually uh, got what I meant. Uh, ther- Therapy apps try to conjure up connections with chatbots. It's insulting to anyone who actually needs real help. Conjure up, conjure up connection with chatbots. Let's see. I, I mean, frankly, I've never used any therapy apps these days, right? Like, so it's difficult for me to tell you whether or not they actually try to conjure up any sort of like meaningful connection. Um, if they do, obviously it's just asinine, and people, I don't know, like, I mean, they definitely gonna get better at it, but um, I wouldn't say it's insulting. It's just revolting, I guess. Not you know, just like this corporatization of of therapy. You know, further commodification of I don't know, like people's problems and the way they use it, conjuring up connections and things of that nature. It's just like disturbing and you know and disgusting at the same time. So that's probably what my take on it is. Schools still try to conjure up creativity in kids using rigid, outdated systems. They're killing curiosity, not nurturing it. I mean, what else do you expect from a rigid system, right? Like, if everything is so outdated, how come it didn't fall by the wayside? I have no idea, but one thing is definitely for sure, which is, they're definitely stifling curiosity rather than like fostering or let alone like nurturing it. And the fact that they even attempt to conjure up creativity in kids while at the same time not making the atmosphere conducive or propitious enough is just dumb. So you say I'm not in my best mood, right? Like not in my grace, not I don't know, like yeah, like I'm not as invigorated as as I am sometimes, right? Most motivational speakers conjure up fake authenticity just to sell a course. Just to sell a course, it's a performance, not wisdom. Conjure up fake authenticity so we can conjure up connection, we can conjure up creativity. Does it even like get what what's the meaning of to conjure up something? How can you conjure up creativity to make a picture or idea appear in someone's mind? The glittering ceremony conjured up images of Russia's imperial past. For some people, for some people, the word England may still conjure up images of pretty gardens and tea parties, or knife battles on the streets or something like duels and all that jazz. Okay, we often conjure up future anxieties that never happen. Yeah, like that. Those examples are all right, right? But in this case, how can you conjure up? Okay, maybe connection, conjure up connection, but how can you conjure up creativity? Doesn't make sense. Yeah, like most motivational speakers or all this like con artists on the internet, like they're just scammers, right? Like let's call the spade the spade. I don't want to sugarcoat it or anything, or I don't know, like put a spin on it. So yeah, like they do tend to conjure up this fake authenticity, fake. They tend to conjure up this fake competence, right? Like they're just like phonies essentially. And it's true that it's performance, not wisdom. Hollywood, Hollywood keeps conjuring up nostalgia instead of original stories because it's easier to sell us our childhoods back. True. I don't know. Like I don't know what to say. Right. Like it's such like I don't know. Like just banal like trope. Right. Like conjuring up nostalgia. Self-care culture has conjured up a version of wellness that's more about consumerism than mental health. Self self care self-care culture, by the way, culture, self-care culture, self-care, self-care culture has conjured up a version of wellness that's more about consumerism than mental health. I guess so, but I mean, I have not seen like any kind of content pertinent to self care culture, right? Like, I'm not that type of person. I'm fucking living in Eastern Europe, so wellness culture, like, fuck them. Like, I don't know, like, just rich people's problems, right? Like, that's, that's essentially the only idea that is being conjured up in my mind. Consumers, mental health, fuck you.